Sorry, we've just got a official statement on behalf of Billie Eilish, the management company. Apparently, her specific words that she said at the Grammys was, no one is illegal on stolen land." And I guess this statement just it's like a thermometer of the de-evolution of the English language. No one is illegal on stolen land would mean it's, but basically that's the equivalent of putting the welcome mat out and continuing to steal land. That's what that means. And I just want to say, on behalf of representatives of all tribes of America, that in fact the Native Americans actually do consider that there are a lot of people that are illegally on stolen land. So, just a little tip there. It's best to get, if you want to listen to music, you should listen to music. And if you want to listen to legal documentation, I suggest that you go into the legal archives of wherever you are. And if you want to speak on behalf of Native Americans, I suggest you speak to them, and they will say everyone is illegal except them on stolen land. Now, obviously, the negotiations, there is a hierarchy of who is in active negotiations with those people and who is not. It is my understanding that Billie Eilish is not in active negotiations with the combined Indigenous Native people of America, and that her statement doesn't actually make any sense anyway, because it says no one is illegal on stolen land. No, a person can't be illegal within their own personhood. Okay, that's no one. Yes, in that way she's right. No one is illegal. You can't be illegal as a person, right? What I think the immigration policy is that they are illegal immigrants. And I've got two little fucking comments here, which is, I'm guessing they're Billie Eilish fans. There's a new one. I've got a new one. Conqueso. That sounds Spanish. Are you on crack? No. And then Stephen Wells, he's an old, long-time stalker. He says, yes, he is on crack. And then he says, nah, jokes, instantly again. I guess because he might be realizing that he's stumbled into some type of legal thing and he's not on some type of pornography. Oh no, crack has a slimming effect. So this is live rolling evidence of the downfall of Western civilization. People are turning really important legal terms like no one is illegal on stolen land. Well, it was only ever stolen, supposedly, the only people that would have claim to say that are the Native Americans, and they would say that everyone is illegal, but they would like to negotiate on a kind of pro rata arrangement. And so as the British Empire, we are actually negotiating with the Native American people, and we're also negotiating with the Aboriginal people here on constant terms. They are constantly stating that that everyone is illegal, and they are insisting on bringing people in from different places to represent this. which is a strange way to do things. We've got to do things in the order that they are established in, which makes sense. So no one is illegal on stolen land, right? No, they're illegal. They have illegally immigrated, which means they did not go through the policy of immigration that I'm guessing the United States federal government has an agreement with the traditional Native American people to prevent the influx of other people in. So, there's a whole lot of just legal jargon that I guess should not be taking place at a music thing. And it's a problem. I really like Billie Eilish's music, but I think there is a unique phenomenon that happens with linguists or lyricists, that they get so used to the freedom of language that they are gifted by the First Amendment over there. They can say anything. I think Kanye West literally has a song called Heil Hitler in the United States. I don't think that would fly here, but it flies there. And so I guess it's freedom of speech. But it's just a complicated freedom of speech. It's very similar. So we've got Kanye West saying Heil Hitler, and then we have Billie Eilish saying no one is illegal on stolen land, which sounds like, it's like if I broke into someone's house and said no one's illegal in stolen houses, no matter what, if those people came home, I'd say they're going to be more pissed off that there is a gigantic fucking Grammys party going on with Billie Eilish music and fucking Justin Bieber playing in his underwear than if I'm just sitting there, you know what I mean? Going like, I'm sorry, I was really hungry. I just had a pack of biscuits out of the cupboard. I'll leave now. Because it's like you can kind of negotiate with one person at a time if someone's stopped, like, you know what I mean? Like, you say you get home from holidays, you're like, I think there's someone in the house. You phone one police car. If you just see there's one person in there, you're like, oh, the one police car should be able to get rid of this guy. If there's an entire Grammys party going on, like with live broadcasts with like ultra fucking celebrity, superstars, like basically saying no one's illegal, we own this. It's like basically saying no one is illegal on stolen land is basically Billie Eilish saying, we own this fucker. Hurry up, like open house party. Come and help us. Like stop the government. Open house party. Come and help us stop the government from removing illegal immigrants, which would have, in the eyes of Native American people, been what they would have declared all colonial expeditions as. And so I guess we're here as the International British Empire Police, just to make sure that, like, the appropriate people have the voice. Not Spanish hip-hop stars, not YouTube fucking child prodigies, and not amazing lyricists and musicians that sung the theme tune for No Time to Die, which is an amazing theme tune as well, but it's not the law, okay? It's not like there isn't a complete, like, just because she sung the theme tune, wrote the theme tune, performed the theme tune, doesn't mean that she's above, or up to speed on all of the intricate legal jargon that is required to prevent a continued invasion of Native American territory. And also stolen territory of the British Empire too, as well. So hang on. So no one is illegal on stolen land. Oh, I see what you've done there, Billy. You've like no one is illegal on stolen land. Oh, you're bringing awareness of the original theft by the United States by George Washington. I see, because stolen land, the Aboriginal peoples didn't, they wouldn't have had an idea such as stolen land because they were a migratory, animistic people that, should be protected. But stolen land, for that to be stolen, you would have to be aware that you were stealing it, and you'd have to be, participate in some type of revolutionary action, wouldn't you? To steal it, you have to know to steal. That's part of it. Like that's actually part of the law. You have to be aware. And they were aware. That's why they did it in secret. And they signed a secret, Declaration of Independence that stole that land away from the British Empire. So no one is illegal on stolen land means that until we settle this original theft with the United States government as a combined British Empire, a combined reformed British Empire, I'll have you know as well, because we are in the process of a re-establishment, not a redaction. Redaction's what you lot are all doing, where there's a whole lot of this. That's what, like, basically, if I was the United States federal government, I would just have redacted that entire word, and then I'd call it the land of the free, which is kind of also a bit of bullshit, because the land of the free from who? Free from us. Did you not see that? The land of the free and the home of the brave. It's not very brave to, do all this stuff either. It's quite brave to fight an entire fucking United States fucking empire while it's throwing, chemical war, nuclear weapons, fucking all this shit, and then just basically try and, with paperwork, reclaim it for the British Empire and prevent it from being fucking stolen again, so that we can develop with Canada and the British Empire our own, official documented agreement with the traditional people of that land. This is the thing. This was way harder to do back in the day. But we've always been doing this. We always have and always will be just trying to do this paperwork that, and what are you going to do when you keep sending it and they don't reply? So I guess what Billie Eilish, maybe she got a memo that I wasn't aware of from MI6. It says no one is illegal on stolen land, right? And so you can see here, by definition, we are required now to reclaim the stolen land, with a clear example that we are very well organised and committed to creating, very much like we are in Australia and very much like we're also going to do in Canada, an agreement that is agreed upon. And we need so many witnesses to do this. So we need witnesses and signatures, all across the place, so that there isn't this continued conflict. There's the whole, basically what's happening is there was agreements done, to buy New York was bought off the Dutch. It was called New Amsterdam, okay, and that was signed on paperwork, and then New Amsterdam was signed in trades with the Aboriginal people. It's only in the historical retelling with inflation added and all this stuff and value added that everyone can sit there and go, New York was bought for a couple of fucking beads. Well, there's the beads, Like, we've got the fucking beads. That's what the problem. We've always had them. We're ready to buy it back. These beads have inflated so much in value. We found the original ones. I've been holding them. That's why I've got them always on my arm. So we found them because Donald Trump is the most famous citizen of New York, unlike the current mayor, who is, I don't know, but I've heard his mum was friends with that Epstein bloke. But yeah, we found the original beads, and we're here because York, you see, York was named after York in England. And then it gets even, it's like the Duke of York was also friends with Jeffrey Epstein. And this is why we needed to do this fucking entire thing to find the beads and to rebuy New York from New York and from the United States and from New York State and from the federal government, and re-establish it as the York colony, British colony, and have it as the headquarters for the repatriation or the official signing, globally witnessed between the British Empire and the indigenous Native American tribes of each land. And we're going to start in New York because it's the Big Apple, I suppose. It's like, where else would you start? It's going to be a unique set of things because we're dealing with a whole bunch of paperwork that has just not been filled out. And if you've ever known anyone that's just sat there with all this paperwork and just left it in a box and not dealt with it all, you know what I mean? It just piles up and piles up and piles up until you've got a pile of fucking paperwork there. And that's what I've got at my house here because I've been stranded out in the fucking dusty, dark fucking crevice of some far off, distant, actually technically possibly the last dusty, desolate, isolated fucking skerrick of the British Empire. And here we are experiencing a paper storm in which paper money and paper, actually it's not even paper anymore. Some of it's just digital money, which is even worse. But then basically the digital money is being secured and then guaranteed based on piles and piles of IOUs that the government has sent out. Then they keep record on their spreadsheets of how much they're owed. But that is like a paper tsunami. And there is absolutely no way that there is enough money to cover what they're saying they have in their asset column. And this is where everyone is in. So yes, all of my paperwork is superseded by the fact that I am, doing this paperwork here in front of you all every day to basically reclaim the stolen land that George Washington and his allies stole, and reclaim that land for the free, right? And then independently then sort out negotiations, like transparently, obviously, you know what I mean? We took the trouble, like that when you say stolen, it wasn't stolen, okay? But it's just very easy to say that it was stolen. We bought it. It's just that it's the same as anything. It's like we bought it, we did something with it, we made lots of money with it, then people get pissed off. That's what made the United States people, the Americans, steal it off us. Same thing. So they're double stealing it. And we're now not stealing it back. We've now sorted it out to get it back. And now we're going to now sort out with all these cameras. And Billie Eilish can be there. You know what I mean? Billie Eilish, because now she's like a moment in time, like the 2026 Grammys, which how many people watch. It's like she's sitting there basically saying that statement. She sung the song on No Time to Die. She's a well-known cultural artifact. She's a representative of that place. And so when she signs the document now in this time and space, and everybody agrees with it, then we have that to carry into the future, and we don't know what's going to happen in the future. Those people that sat there and exchanged beads, those Dutchmen that exchanged beads for Manhattan all those years ago, right? they did the right thing. Okay? When we then bought it back because we ran out of fucking nutmeg or something like that in Indonesia, which is literally true. We sold it for some nutmeg, or we bought it for nutmeg. I can't even remember, but something like that. We were in the right, and we were continuously in the right until that bastard with fucking slave teeth, George Washington, stole it off us. And we've been fighting a fucking very long war with all the people that celebrate him for a very long time, and this is where we've gotten to. And we're here to this is one thing we're doing. We're also handing a new revised Magna Carta to Mark Carney in Canada. We're handing a new revised Magna Carta to Keir Starmer, and we're handing a new revised Magna Carta to Anthony Albanese and every other Prime Minister of every other Commonwealth nation, including whoever ends up being the governor or the Prime Minister of New York. And then New York will act as a satellite British city within the greater United States for us to then, show that we're there and then make our way into their things to negotiate both sides. We're going to negotiate with the United States on fair terms, and we're going to negotiate with the traditionally displaced Native American people from New York City. And so it's probably time for Madani to get his affairs in order, and maybe, or is it Zoro Madani, whatever his name is. Yeah. Or I don't know, maybe we'll respect the fact that you were elected in there. You can continue out your, who knows? We'll decide that when we get closer to the day. But yeah, obviously New York, okay, needs to be controlled by a British person that has a family connection to York. And it obviously couldn't have been the Duke of York. It couldn't have been him because he was a grub. So there will be a new Duke of York, and he will be the Duke of New York as well. And I don't know who that is. I've got no idea who that is. That's for King Charles, and eventually King William to decide who the Duke of York and the Duke of New York is going to be. Alrighty. Okie doke. I don't know anywhere to put that. I need to get a shirt. I need to get shirts that just say that. That's what all the cool kids are doing. They've all got shirts that say Scale Matters. And if I was Chapel Rowan, I'd probably do that. I'd have it like strapped with a. Oh, imagine I did that. If I was on Jackass, that's what I'd do. But I'm not an idiot. I'd get 2 drawing pens. I'll be like, yeah, Chapel Rowan or Rowan, which is my brother's name. I see your little gimmick, and I will fucking re-gimmick you by drawing. No, but I don't want to. I don't want to do that. I'm going to put my shirt back on and just, I guess, put that. I'll put that just there. I wonder if I can. I don't want to fold it because it's official paperwork. See, that's the official paperwork there. That's the video I did about the war that's been going on between the individual and the family, and then Magna Carta is there revisited. Obviously, that will go with the Scale Matters piece there. I'll sign it right now. This is the first signature on the gold standard Scale Matters agreement. There we go. I better not fucking show you my signature. But anyway, that goes there. And then I will also sign this individual thing. I'll sign this now. There we go. That's been signed. And I'll sign this prop here that says no one is illegal on stolen land. Okay. And I'll do this old trick. All right, that's the actual land there. And I'll put, no, it's not stolen land anymore. It's now British Crown land. And I'll sign down here underneath this little black. All right, British Crown land. That goes with that. That's the official slip there. And I'll say verbally here so that everyone can see it, in active negotiations with both the United States federal government and the traditional owners of all soil that was initially colonised or purchased by the British Empire. It's pretty good day. And look, I'll put Groot. Groot can keep an eye on that. That's all very safe and sound there. On Groot's desk, so he will make sure that he looks after that, like he looks after the galaxy. And I think that pretty much. I'll just do a quick little didgeridoo to say that the Australian Aboriginal people are going to be pleased that the empire that they're in negotiations with has now just reclaimed some of its stolen land. You know what I mean? Because that if we're reclaiming our stolen land and they've got a chance to reclaim their stolen land, it's like, and then I, as a Druid representative, I'm still pushing back and fighting the good fight against the Roman Catholics and the Roman Empire, and also the Vikings, and also the everyone else, all the way from Caledonia is in the Scottish Highlands. Alrighty. Isn't it weird that like this is literally how the world is fucking negotiated? It's funny, but then it's also amazing. It's like, wow, it's really inspiring that all of this could be done like this. You know, it's really inspiring to have everybody just kind of see these things happen that people have just spoken about. It's like, oh, when it's just some weird pilgrim with a Dutch fucking hat sitting in a fucking reed bed being like, there you go. You know what I mean? It's cartoonized. It's like, yeah. But when it's at this level, it's like everyone's like, he's really putting in work. He's putting the work. You know what I mean? We really did oversimplify this whole thing and turn it into a global fucking invasion with people that shouldn't be involved. You know, the Islamists should not be involved in any of the arrangements with that the British Empire is in, any of the negotiations that the British Empire is in with any of its colonies, you know, in any time in the past, present, or the future. Get out of our business, please, and sort your own shithole out. It's filled with fucking sand. Plant some trees, right? Oh, I've got plant some trees. Everyone in the Torah, in the Bible, and in the fucking Quran are all sitting under trees talking about shit. If you don't have the trees, you know what I mean? It doesn't, that none of them say, I was on an online fucking like casino run by a fucking Indian billionaire that just got fucking done for a home invasion in Perth, and I fucking discovered the facts of the universe. No, they all say I was sitting under a tree. Okay? And that last little reference is just a little wink to the West Australian Police that to do with the damages, I will put aside all of my legal recourse in exchange for one fully sick automobile that you have stolen, not stolen, that you have, what's the word? Repatriated, or that you have commandeered, whatever it is, fully sick automobile from that grub that made the fucking digital casino that broke into his missus's house because he couldn't use his words. Okay, we've got to all fucking support when people are just using their words. You're not allowed to break into your fucking ex-missus's house, no matter how many fucking billions of dollars you've got. Now one of your cars is being stolen, and I'm going to hoon it around the fucking countryside. So that's just a little thing to the West Australian Police. I would like a fully sick automobile delivered. Oops. It landed on the feather. So I want a fully sick automobile delivered to my residence that I'm currently at, and I will stick that feather in it because my daughter took the car that I was using. Oh, shit. There we go. That should pretty much, I reckon, sort all of that out. Because I just want to go for a drive. This is stressful. I just want to go on. I want to go and I like to go and have a little survey of the land, but I'd just be like, what's going on? How many more Chinese fucking massage parlors and vape shops are there in the last 12 months since I haven't really had a good fucking sting around the hood? How much more salination and desertification and rampant fucking pesticide and thing use is going on in the wheat belt and the country, like all that. And I've got to do that in something that has air conditioning. You know what I mean? There's a precedent by my daughter. She said, Dad, I can't come for a swim because the car that you were using that I now have, so you don't have a car, doesn't have air conditioning. But hey, she gave me these beads. No, she didn't, but she did give me something like it. So anyway, I'll leave the beads on. I'll look after the beads because these are worth what's the combined value of New York City now? It's worth a shitload. Which means, funnily enough, this is a funny kind of twist of fate here. The fact that we are retaking New York City and the British Empire means that technically Donald Trump is a tenant, which means that on behalf of the British Empire, I am acting as his landlord. Isn't that funny? But he loves that. He's fine with that. He's got a really good track record of paying his landlords because he is a landlord as well. See, people that are landlords always pay their fucking rent, and that's what is going on here. And this is the problem. It's like there are a bunch of people that living rent-free in all places under all these types of twisted fucking arrangements, masterminded by some git that had fucking like African stolen slave people's teeth in his mouth. Holy dooly. Holy fucking dooly. All right. Well, I'm going to go enjoy. Actually, I'll do it on camera so that I get some fucking payments. And I was about to say something there. I was going to make a little comment about what's his name? Titi Wahaki. Wahaki Titi, the director of What We Do in the Shadows. Is that what it's called? Titi Wakati. And his fucking Super Bowl ad. But I guess we've got to give him one. You know what I mean? Because they've stolen the polar... Get it? They stole the polar bear. And then they've done a reference to like someone sitting on a couch, like getting Sigmund Freuded. Which is just... If you know, you know. If you don't, it's probably really confusing at this point. But they're allowed to do that because, yeah, we did nick New Zealand. But, you know what I mean? Serves you's right. It's like, well, I almost got killed by 10 of you fuckers and they still haven't handed themselves in. The fine Australian teenage boys that got on the wrong side of their fucking testosterone, they turned themselves in. But did the Maori fucking scumbags turn themselves in? No, they didn't. They fucking fleed off. And that's why we've got to kick every fucking Maori out of Australia. Yeah. Because of Titi Wahakati. Titi Oaxaca Kikiki, because he stole the polar bear of Coca-Cola. Why would you do that? You can't do that. That's fucking intellectual property theft. And then you're using it to fucking promote not just Pepsi as fucking a far less high quality beverage, but to like somehow covertly instill this sense of fucking, dedication towards an out fucking dated and dying psychiatric fucking cult. You know what I mean? And your people are still beating people half to death and fucking running off in foreign, far off lands. It doesn't fly. And your movie career is taking a fucking downward fucking turn. Your fucking acting performance in that fucking Free Guy alongside old fucking Van Wilder was terrible. You know what I mean? And I actually like you, but I just am still pissed off at those 10 Maori cunts that tried to kill me. So I'm going to fucking sue you on behalf of the Coca-Cola Corporation. Fucking intellectual property theft. And especially considering that I am sitting there in my mum's house making a fucking global fucking ransom letter, not a ransom letter, a fucking message in a bottle to get me out of a psychiatric fucking prison. And I happen to mention and view very prominently the fucking polar bear on the floor while I'm fucking negotiating with the Danish fucking government about fucking a prevention of alcohol wonder drug that Coca-Cola actually was as well. Coca-Cola was the original fucking alcohol substitute. It's amazing. You know who should win the Nobel Prize? Coca-Cola. Alcoholism is pretty much like the most rampant, destroying country, nation destroying substance that there is. And Coca-Cola, they're not perfect. They've got some fucking issues, that's for sure. But they have done more to prevent that than anything else. And now possibly in combination with this Danish, agreement that we have to do the science involved on this addiction preventing drug, then, we're doing pretty well. So it's an open and shut fucking top to bottom, absolute fucking conquering again by the British Empire, but with a new 2026 flavor. And do you know what that flavor is? It's Coca-Cola. Thank you. Good luck with the Super Bowl. It's super.